Italy sees its biggest daily rise in COVID-19 cases. Egypt has quarantined a cruise ship on the Nile after an outbreak, and the Pope will deliver Sunday's sermon via a live. Follow DW for the latest updates. Read more. What you need to know about the coronavirus updates in Universal Coordinated Time, UK/GMT23. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence said after a meeting with cruise line industry officials. Meanwhile, 15 U.S. citizens have been quarantined in a hotel in Bethlehem over COVID-19 fears, said the Palestinian government. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, WhatsApp, Tumblr, LinkedIn, StumbleDig, Reddit, Newsfeed, permalink.p.d.com/p.d.com/p/3707:30. The spread of the new COVID-19 virus is straining Germany's complex healthcare system. The number of confirmed cases in the country has risen to 684, according to the Robert Koch. To understand more about the kind of pressure Germany's healthcare system is currently facing, read this piece: Coronavirus in Germany, Healthcare System Under Pressure. 06:16 The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Afghanistan has jumped to 4, Reuters reported, citing the country's health ministry. Of these, 3 cases have been registered in Western Herat province, officials said. The province borders neighboring Iran, one of countries worst affected by the virus outside of China, with over 4,000 cases and more than 1,508. The coronavirus death toll in the United States rose to 2 deaths were reported in the southern state of Florida, and 4 more deaths were reported in Washington state, the epicenter of the outbreak, where 14 people have. He did not identify the ship that is being tracked. 21:11 Bavaria's Lutheran Church Council has advised on the importance of hygiene during the Eucharist, ahead of Sunday. 344 Chinese exports this year have fallen 17.4%, the biggest drop since February of last year when the US-China trade war. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, WhatsApp, Tumblr, LinkedIn, StumbleDig, Reddit, Newsfeed, permalink p.d.com/p/303:22 Mexican authorities reported their 6th confirmed case of the novel coronavirus. The man, who contracted the virus abroad, is in grave condition. 2:48 The U.S. State Department warned its nationals against traveling to the Central Asian countries of Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan, citing coronavirus. Read more. Coronavirus and climate change, a tale of 2 crises. 02 Iceland declared a state of emergency after 12 Icelandic nationals contracted the novel coronavirus in the country. The new cases brought the total number of cases to 43, reported Iceland Monitor news site. Italy has become one of the hardest hit countries in Europe. 53 The American Israel Public Affairs Committee (AIPAC) said at least 2 attendees of its annual conference in Washington have tested positive for the novel coronavirus. 132 Two health screeners at Los Angeles International Airport have tested positive for coronavirus, reported Reuters news agency, citing an internal. They also advised in a press release that people should avoid touching money when passing it into the alms bowl during ceremonies. 118 South Korea reported 174 new confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus. Read more. Opinion: will the new coronavirus spell the end of globalization? 37 Saudi Arabia limited landed crossings with Bahrain, Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates, citing concerns about the coronavirus, reported the official SPA News. 024 Chinese authorities report 99 new cases, marking a drop from 143 a day. The death toll in China reached 3,070, of which the overwhelming majority is located in the Hubei province, dubbed the epicenter of 005. Follow these live updates through the day. Read how things developed on Friday. Here coronavirus latest. Global cases reach 100,000. A coronavirus vaccine isn't coming very quickly. Each evening, DW's editors send out a selection of the day's hard news and quality feature journalism. You can sign up to receive it directly here. Send Facebook, Twitter, Google+, WhatsApp, Tumblr, LinkedIn, StumbleDig, Reddit, Newsfeed, permalink p.d.w. com/p/370r, ed. Shri, ls/kl, ap, afp, Reuters. The supply chains for drugs are vulnerable in Germany and Europe as a whole. and shaking hands with each other or with the priest, a key part of many services, was, and that was true even before COVID-19 broke out. Shortages point to systemic problems and more often than not involve China. 03.0 2020, how is it transmitted? What are the symptoms? And which precautionary measures are recommended to stop it spreading? 27.018. 2020, who should be tested for the coronavirus, and how? Here's what you need to know about being tested for COVID-19, and what testing may look like in the future. 04 2020, supermarkets in Germany have witnessed signs of panic buying as the new coronavirus spreads. Some English language media are in love with the special word the Germans use for hoarding stuff, as Hardy Graupner found out. 05.03 2020, most Germans are not overly worried about the coronavirus outbreak and feel the country's health officials have the situation on, but they're more divided on accepting refugees and Germany's political makeup. 06.03 2020, the relentless spread of COVID-19 in Iran has eroded public trust in the authorities' ability to contain the transmission. The growing distrust presents a huge challenge for the Iranian government. 05. Read more. South Korea church leader apologizes for coronavirus spread. 20:18 Two residents of a North Vancouver nursing home in British Columbia have tested positive for coronavirus. 2020, Germany's health minister Jens Spahn tells DW that efforts to hold back the coronavirus in Europe, but he cautioned that things could get worse before they get. 13.02:2020, as COVID-19 hits the Hong Kong art market, its repercussions will be felt around the world and not just in Asia. The crisis may upend old business models and jolt the art market further into the virtual realm. 06.032020, activists say Iraq's political system is the real virus, without a political deadlock, violent repression and decades of corruption all outweigh fears of a transfer of coronavirus from Iran. 04.03 2020, the spread of the coronavirus is increasingly having an impact on all aspects of life in many parts of the world. Here are the latest updates on how the virus is affecting the world of sports. 06.03 2020, thousands of couples around the world tied the knot despite concerns over the spread of the corona. Armed with face masks, couples declared their love in mass weddings in South Korea and the Philippines. 26.02 2020, to reduce the risk of contracting the new coronavirus, people around the world are changing their greeting style. These different cultural habits can inspire alternatives. 03.03 taking the total number of cases in Canada to 50. 2020, from fashion shows to opera houses, many cultural events and institutions are putting the brakes in due to the spread of the new virus. Here are some of the major ones. 06.0 2020, up to 21 people aboard a California cruise ship have tested positive for the novel coronavirus, including 19 crew members. Public health authorities are struggling to contain the outbreak. Follow the latest updates here. Up to 70 people were trapped following the collapse of a hotel in eastern China. The building was being used to quarantine those suspected of having COVID-19. Rescue efforts are ongoing, with over half saved. The global number of COVID-19 cases has soared past 100. Health officials around the globe are scrambling to build a robust public health response, and researchers are working to develop a vaccine. But how close are they to success? 2000 hours US officials say 2 more people have died from COVID-19 in Washington state, raising the death toll in the country to 19. 1944 Italy will enact tough measures to limit the spread of coronavirus, including telling people not to enter or leave the hard-hit region of Lombardy and 11 provinces in other regions. According to Reuters, schools in the areas covered by the decree will remain shut until at least 14. Canada said that there has been an outbreak at a long-term care home in North Vancouver. All museums, gyms and swimming pools will also closed and leave for healthcare workers is to be cancelled. It's one of the most widespread greetings in the business world. But will the traditional handshake go out of style? Health experts recommend avoiding it to reduce the risk of contracting the coronavirus. Germany's interior minister took that advice seriously and refused to shake Chancellor Angela Merkel's hand. They both laughed and Merkel threw her hand up in the air before taking a seat. France's government has advised its citizens to cut back on the traditional bis, greeting by kissing others on both cheeks. But French President Emmanuel Macron nevertheless gave the double kiss greeting to Italian Premier Giuseppe Conte during a summit in Naples this week, symbolically demonstrating that he didn't fear contact with the neighboring country affected by a coronavirus surge. It's a gesture that was first popularized by baseball and basketball players in the US. About 50 fewer bacteria are transferred by high-fiving than by shaking hands, meaning that it's still not completely commonly used in sports. The greeting was also popularized by former US President Obama, shown here with Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg. 2 elderly residents were detected with the virus in the home. A total of 6 new cases have been detected in British Columbia. Beyond the coolness factor, the fist bump transmits significantly fewer germs than shaking hands, about 90 less according. Hugging is another way to spread germs, but research has also shown that the warm embrace of a loved one may strengthen the immune system, and in some cases, it can boost This hug between South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in 2018 triggered various reactions on both sides. They had previously opted for the more Australia's New South Wales Health Minister Brad Hazzard recommends this gesture. It's time that Aussies actually gave each other a pat on the back for the time being, no handshaking. While it transmits less bacteria than the previously mentioned forms of greetings, the pat on the back can be perceived as condescending by some people. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip wave here from the balcony of Buckingham Palace. The original gesture derived from an 18th century tradition of knights saluting each other after removing the guard of their helmets to reveal their identity and show that they were coming in peace. 2251 Slovenia has prohibited all in or public events with over 500 people from Saturday. The country has 12 confirmed cases of coronavirus. Waving can, however, be seen as offensive in some countries. In China, where the COVID-19 outbreak began, one greeting recommendation is the traditional gongshu or the fist and palm salute, as demonstrated above by actress Mia Mucky at the Cannes screening of Ashes the Purest White in 2018. A slight bow with palms pressed together in a prayer like position. The Taiwei greeting is widespread in various Southeast Asian countries, also known as the Indian Namaste or the Burmese Ming. Similarly safe, Japan's traditional sign of salutation and reverence still belongs to everyday life. Learning to bow elegantly is an important part of becoming a respectable. Here, employees of a department store in Tokyo practice their greeting ahead of the start of a recent viral video from China shows yet another alternative to the handshake, the foot shake, also dubbed the Wuhan handshake. Rubbing dirty feet is still safer than touching hands too. Probably the easiest way to greet someone without sharing germs and making a faux pas is to look the other person in the eyes, smile and say hello. 2229 New York has declared a state of emergency in an effort to control spread of the coronavirus, Governor Andrew Cuomo said. Author, Elizabeth Grenner 19:24 Greece announced 21 new COVID-19 cases on Saturday, bringing the country's total number of confirmed infections to 66. 1916 The EHF has cancelled the Women's World Ice Hockey Championships in Canada due to the coronavirus outbreak. The tournament was slated to run March 31 to April 10 in Halifax and Truro. 1838 The number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in France has risen to 949, with 16 deaths. 1828 The European Central Bank has asked its 3,700 employees based in Frankfurt, Germany to work from home on Monday in order to test its emergency plan for confinement. 1803 Egypt has confirmed a further 33 cases of COVID-19 on a cruise ship in quarantine on the Nile River, the country's health minister told her. A total of 45 people have tested positive for coronavirus. 1750 Paraguay's health ministry has announced the country's first confirmed case of COVID-19. 1714 Italy has announced its death toll from the novel coronavirus rose by 36 to 233 on Saturday, with the total number of cases increasing by a record 1,247 to 5,830. Read more, Coronavirus in Sub-Saharan Africa Week in Review 16:44 South Africa has confirmed its second case of COVID-19. Sub-Saharan Africa has so far not been as badly affected by the outbreak, with only a handful of countries reporting confirmed cases. Washington, Utah, Maryland and California have already declared an emergency, as cases continue to rise throughout. However, the global market downturn could spell disaster for business in developing countries. Since Facebook, Twitter, Google+, WhatsApp, Tumblr, LinkedIn, StumbleDig, Reddit, Newsfeed, permalinks:/p.d.com/p/3yzx16:39. The number of cases in Germany rose from 684 to 795 during the course of Saturday, the Robert Koch Institute has announced. 1622 A U.S. Navy officer stationed in Italy has been diagnosed with coronavirus, according to the U.S. European Command. The service member was stationed in Naples and is currently restricted to their residence. The U.S. European Command has around 70,000 personnel stationed in 51 countries. 1615 Berlin Police Department reported that an officer has tested positive for COVID-19. He did not become infected. The division in question is at their quarters, the police department wrote on Twitter. Our service will not be affected. 1606 Maldives health officials confirmed that 2 patients have tested positive for COVID. 1525 The number of infected people in the UK has risen by 43 to 206, authorities reported. 14:33 Another cruise ship has been quarantined, this time on the Nile in Egypt. More than 150 tourists and a local crew have been told to stay on board a boat near Luxor after 12 people tested positive for the virus. A subway station shows information about caution from the COVID-19 in New York. Similar measures, aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan in February, were described as a failure after 540 people were infected. Since Facebook, Twitter, Google+, WhatsApp, Tumblr, LinkedIn, StumbleDig, Reddit, Newsfeed, permalinks:/p.dw com/p/3xz5y14:10 A hotel in the Chinese city of Quanzhou, in eastern Fujian province, has collapsed, trapping about. The hotel near the country's southeast coast was reportedly being used as a quarantine facility. About 24 people have been pulled alive. Video shared by China's Xinhua State News Agency showed rescue workers combing the collapse. Read more. China, coronavirus quarantine hotel collapses, trapping dozens. 13:30 Dutch authorities say the country has now registered 188 cases. 13:17 Another passenger who was on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship has died, bringing the total death toll from the ship to 7, according to Japanese broadcaster NHK. Read more. Italy to give Diamond Princess coronavirus quarantine captain its highest honor. 13:15 The Pope will be keeping his distance from worshippers, the Vatican has announced. On Sunday he will address worshippers from the window of the Apostolic Library rather than in St. Peter's Square. His prayer will then be live-streamed onto screens in the square. I wish to express again my closeness to this world with the coronavirus and to healthcare workers who are caring for them, Pope Francis wrote on Twitter on Friday. 23 people arriving to Bahrain from South Korea, Italy, Egypt and Lebanon have been asked to self-quarantine for 2 weeks, the health ministry said in a tweet. 13:12 France says it now has 716 confirmed cases, while 11 people have. 12:20 The leader of Italy's co-ruling Democratic Party Nicola Zingaretti said on Saturday that he had tested positive for the novel corona. I have coronavirus too, Zingaretti said in a video posted on Facebook. Italy has been the European country that's hardest hit by the virus, with a total of 4,636 cases and 197 deaths as of Friday. I'm fine but I will have to stay home for the next few days, the politician wrote on Twitter. Courage to all and see you soon. 11:40 Iran says 21 more people have died from COVID-19, bringing the country's death toll to 145. More than 1,000 infections were also confirmed overnight, bringing the total to some 5,823 cases nationwide. Iran is the country in the Middle East that had been most badly affected by the disease. South Korea, the hardest hit country after China, said it had recorded 448 new cases making a total of 7,004. Seoul also reported 4 more deaths, raising the death toll to 2214. A cruise ship that may have shared crew with the virus hit Diamond Princess is currently being tracked. 1116 Malta's first case of the novel coronavirus has been detected in a 12-year-old Italian girl who lives there. Health Minister Chris Fearn said the girl tested positive for the COVID-19 virus early on Saturday and is receiving treatment in non-infectious diseases unit. 10 o'clock Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte will declare a public health emergency to help contain spread of the new coronavirus after the country recorded its first case of community transmission, officials said on SIN. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, WhatsApp, Tumblr, LinkedIn, StumbleDig, Reddit, Newsfeed, Permalink, p.d.com/p/3by9.poo9:45. An Iranian lawmaker, 55-year-old Fatemeh Robber, died from COVID-19 on Saturday, state news agency IRNA reported. She is the second lawmaker killed by the virus in Iran and one of 7 politicians and government officials who have died in the outbreak since the country reported its first cases in mid-February. Read more. Could Iran become a new coronavirus epicenter? 07:52 U.S. officials have yet to decide on where to allow the cruise ship Grant, with 21 virus cases aboard, to dock in. President Donald Trump said he would have preferred not to let the passengers disembark onto American soil but would defer to the recommendations of medical experts.